Hi, I'm going to teach you right now how to use self-hypnosis because so many people don't really practice it themselves, and self-hypnosis is so easy, we should do it all the time. I was recently flying to Oman, and when the plane landed, the woman next to me went, "Oh my God, I'm so jealous of you. You just slept through the whole flight from takeoff to landing." I'm like, that's because I practice self-hypnosis. When I go to the dentist or the doctors or anything done that could be painful, I practice self-hypnosis. I recently had a particularly unpleasant medical procedure and I used self-hypnosis all the way through, and all the nurses were going, "Oh, are you asleep?" I'm like, no, I'm just hypnotizing myself. And they were so fascinated that when I finished, they went, "Oh, we've got another person about to have this procedure and he's really negative. Can you hypnotize him?" I'm like, "Sure." And then I was showing all the nursing staff how to do it because it's very easy. The trick is to look up like that, keep your eyeballs up, close them down, and then go down 10 steps. I'm going to do it 3 times with my lovely assistants, Henny and Lauren, and you're going to see how quickly they learn how to do it themselves. And then I'm going to tell you what to do in self-hypnosis, because getting into self-hypnosis is very easy. The confusion arises because you've got to use a mind that is so relaxed to then give yourself suggestions. Some people say, "Oh, I'm so relaxed, I can't give myself suggestions," or "I'm so relaxed, it's too complicated." You need to keep the suggestions very, very simple. And here's what you need to understand with a mind. First of all, it only responds in the present tense. You cannot say, "Next year I look great on the beach in my swimmer," because the mind doesn't work in the future. Even if you have a broken leg and you want to speed up healing, you've got to say, "My body's healing now. I'm becoming slimmer now. My memory is better now." You must work in the present tense. The second thing you must understand is that the mind doesn't do negative. If you say, "I'm no longer inadequate, I'm not nervous, I'm not scared," your mind will pick up the words that make a picture. So if you want to hypnotize yourself for confidence, you don't go, I'm no longer anxious. You say, "I feel confident, and I'm so confident speaking or drawing or writing or performing or auditioning." And thirdly, the mind really only responds to pictures and words. So when you're doing self-hypnosis, you can simply see how you want to be. You can get a very clear image of how you want to be. So, Henny, what would you like to use self-hypnosis for?
I'd like to be more confident in my writing, more focused and more able, less scared of failure.
Okay. And so we're going to turn "less scared of failure" around to extraordinary self-belief that comes across on the page. Because again, with the mind, you can't say, "I'm not scared of failure." It's like saying, "I'm not thinking about chocolate. I no longer think about eating biscuits." Of course, you think about eating biscuits. So whatever it is you want, if you have a negative image, like I don't want to be scared of bees anymore, you can't say that. You have to say, "When a bee's there, I'm so relaxed and calm, and I'm unaware of the bee, and the bee is unaware of me," because it makes the right picture. What would you like to use self-hypnosis for, Lauren?
Confidence in general, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do self-hypnosis. The first thing is you need to be comfortable. Sitting like this is good, sitting back is even better. And the trick to self-hypnosis is simply this. You roll up your eyes, keep your eyeballs up. And the trick is keeping your eyeballs up to close the lids down. So let's all do that. I want you to do it with me. Make yourself comfortable and look up as if you're trying to look into your own hairline, as if you're trying to look into your eyebrows, keeping your eyeballs up. Just close your eyelids down. And if you feel any kind of fluttering, you can actually touch your eyelids if you're not sure, and you'll feel a slight fluttering. When you do that, then you will find self-hypnosis easy. And it must be easy, because I sometimes meet people who've been to be hypnotized, and the hypnotherapist with the greatest will in the world used a half-an-hour relaxation. You start at the top of your head, you go right down to your toes. And a lot of clients really haven't got the time to do that. And by the time they spent half an hour relaxing, they've forgotten what they needed to hypnotize themselves for, or they no longer have time. I want you to be able to do this in 10 minutes or less. So let's do it now. I want you to watch Henny and Lauren. Don't do it yourself now, just watch them and then you can start to do it with them. So Henny and Lauren, I want you to look up as if you're looking into your own eyebrows. Keep your hands separated and just look up as high as you can, and keeping your eyes still, just breathe in and breathe out. And each time you blink, that is self-hypnosis coming upon you. Again, breathe in and breathe out. And each time you blink, your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. One more time, breathe in. And this time, keep your eyeballs up, but at the same time, keeping your eyeballs up as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as you close your eyelids down, you can just allow your shoulders to relax. And I want you to drop your chin just a fraction, as if you're looking down a flight of stairs or out of an upper window over a balcony. So you really have that looking down sensation. When you do that, you straight away feel that looking down feeling. It doesn't matter now at all where your eyeballs have gone. You no longer need to keep them strained upwards. And I want you to mentally look down 10 steps. And as I count, you're going to see your feet taking each step. And it really helps to hear your feet, to feel your feet, and to see your feet treading each step right now. You're moving on to step 10. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. And now you're taking step 9, going deeper. You're taking step 8, going even deeper. You're taking step 7. You can feel your feet touching each step. You're taking step 6. You can see and hear your feet touching each step as you go deeper. You're taking step 5. You are halfway down, going deeper and deeper. You're taking step 4. And every sound and noise around you is carrying you deeper and further into the most wonderful, relaxing state of self-hypnosis. You're taking step 3, going deeper. You're taking step 2. You can see your feet almost at the bottom of those steps now as you go deeper. And now you're taking step 1, just go deeper. And as you go deeper again, you are just allowing a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. And as you go deeper, even now you're at a level where you are absolutely ready to give yourself suggestions. I want to give you a suggestion. And then you're going to give yourself this same suggestion. I want you to imagine that your arm is attached to a pulley. Your right arm is attached to a pulley. There's a pulley tied around your right arm, and that pulley is pulling your right arm up. It's as if there is some string attached around your right arm, and I'm pulling the string, or someone is pulling the string, and as that string is pulled, your right arm is floating and moving and lifting and starting to travel up. Straight away, your fingers are moving away from your clothing as your right arm just floats up and lifts up and moves up and travels up. It's floating up higher and higher and higher. It's moving and it's lifting and it's traveling up. And the minute you feel that feeling, you can go, oh wow, this is working. My mind is accepting suggestions. So now you can imagine the pulley is let go of and your arm is dropping down and your hand is returning to your body. And as it does that, you know that already you've accepted suggestions, and now you can begin to give yourself some suggestions. And it's very important to keep this really simple. So I want you, Lauren, to start giving yourself suggestions every day. I grow in confidence every day. I'm confident about who I am every day. I find day-to-day tasks are more easy because I'm confident talking to people, meeting people, doing my job. I'm incredibly confident. I want you to keep saying that to yourself, and even better, seeing pictures. Now, some people are not visual and go, oh, now you've lost me now because I can't see the pictures. You know what? It doesn't matter. The words are much, much, much more important than the picture. So if you're visual and you can see yourself walking into a party, making eye contact, or going for an interview and having everyone nodding and smiling and liking you, it's great. If you don't see pictures, please don't worry. The words are more important. Just focus on the words. When I go for an interview, I'm confident. When I go out socially, I'm confident. When I pick up the phone and make calls in my job, I'm confident. And Henny, I want you to see yourself writing and really finding that the right words and phrases come to you and you put them on the page, and what you're writing really pleases you. And you know it's good, and you can even imagine your future readers loving your work. You can see yourself growing in confidence and interpreting every feeling as you write as excitement. And so you only need to spend a few minutes doing that. And so I want you to spend a few minutes thinking of the right words, remembering 3 things. Your mind works in the present tense. It cannot and will not work in the future. So it's good to say, I'm confident now. I'm a better writer now. I'm growing in confidence right now. I'm so comfortable and happy and so prolific as a writer right now. Secondly, you must use words that make a good picture. It's no good saying I'm not inadequate, because that makes a negative picture. Use words as a descriptive that excite the imagination. I'm so confident. I've got such great self-esteem. I'm relaxed and at ease around people. I love writing. When I sit down to write, the hours fly by and I put on the page all the things I want to put on the page, and I'm really happy with my work. You see, the right words excite the imagination. So now I want you to let your minutes of giving yourself suggestions close, and you're simply going to count from 1 to 10 and open your eyes. And some people like to come back up the stairs, and that's good too. So you can mentally go back up those 10 steps to the top on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just open your eyes. Now I'm going to take you through the same suggestions. I'm going to speed it up so that you're really going to do it without much guidance from me. I'm going to give you a bit of guidance, but you're going to do this yourself. So I'm going to tell you to look up. I'm going to tell you to take the 3 deep breaths. I'm going to tell you to drop your chin. I'm going to let you go down the steps by yourself. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to push your shoulders down, and then you're going to imagine again that you have a string attached to your arm, and that pulley is pulling your arm up and up and up. And as the minute you find it floating up, you can allow that to happen for as long as you like. Then you can drop it down and start to give yourself suggestions. I'm not going to prompt you at all with the suggestions. Just remember, in the present tense, positive descriptive words. And never say I'm not, I no longer, I don't, because the mind doesn't really get that. So when we're ready, let's all look up again, roll your eyes up, keep your eyeballs up, breathe in and breathe out, and again breathe in. And each time you blink, that is simply hypnosis coming upon you. Breathe out one more time, breathe in, keep your eyeballs up. And as you exhale, keep your eyeballs up, close your eyelids right down. Drop your shoulders, drop your chin, look down those 10 steps, and in your own way and in your own time, go down those 10 steps. And you can simply say, step 10, I'm going deeper, step 9, I'm going deeper. And when you get to the bottom, in your own way and in your own time, you then tell your mind that you have that pulley attached to your arm, and you watch it float up. And take some time to give yourself some really exciting suggestions using words that really excite your imagination, that make a good picture. Remember, one of the rules of the mind is that the way we feel about anything is down to two things: the pictures we make in our head and the words we say to ourselves. When you make the pictures positive, when you make the words positive, it actually changes your whole life in the most extraordinary way. So when you've taken just a couple of minutes to give yourself some great suggestions that really please you, you can mentally come back up the steps, and when you're at the top of the steps, just open up your eyes. It's very important to do this in your own time, in your own way. You can do it as quickly or as slowly as you want to. And this time I'm going to let both of you go through the whole thing without any prompting from me at all. And I know you can do it because it's so easy to pick up. Sometimes we get so consumed with, like, what have I got to do? And I need to read this. And it's much better to just do it. You see, even when you do hypnosis incorrectly, amazingly, it still works. That's the great thing about hypnosis. Inadequate hypnosis still works, but when you get it right, it really, really works. So I want you now, in your own time, you cannot get this wrong, to look up, take the 3 deep breaths. Remember, this is how you do it. First, you start by looking up, and then when your eyes close, the next thing is you go down. Your shoulders go down, you drop your chin down, you go down the steps. So look up is 1, take the 3 deep breaths, chin down, shoulders down, go down the steps is 2. When you get to the bottom, you're back to the up. Your arm is pulling up with a pulley, and then you give yourself some great suggestions, and then you take yourself back up the stairs. So I want you to just do that in your own way and in your own time, starting right now. And of course, you can do this too. As Henny and Lauren go through this procedure, you're very welcome to do it with them. There's no time. You can take 5 minutes, you can take 15 minutes, and every time you do it, you'll notice that sometimes, maybe when you're on a train or in the back of the car, obviously not when you're driving, that you just have 5 minutes. Other times you'll realize that maybe 15 minutes is a really nice thing to do. You never get bored when you can do self-hypnosis, because you can do self-hypnosis. I was at the theatre recently, I was so bored. So I put myself in self-hypnosis and did something different. If I'm in a queue or I'm waiting, then I use self-hypnosis. And you're seeing how quickly these girls have picked it up, and they're really good at it. But everyone can be good at self-hypnosis. We go into hypnosis every day. When you're watching the television, you're in hypnosis. When you get in your car and drive home on autopilot without even thinking where you're turning left or right, because you know the journey, you're in self-hypnosis. And it's a great thing to do when you respond to a program that's scary or really cold and makes you want to shiver. You're in self-hypnosis. We go in and out of it all the time. So you might as well go in and out of it in a really good way. When you go to the store and buy something that an advert has told you to buy, that's a form of hypnosis too. And I'm a great believer that you should run your mind rather than letting someone else run it. So you'll see these girls have got really good at looking up, taking the 3 deep breaths, closing their eyes, going down the steps, telling their arm to raise up, just so they know that they're in a state where they are accepting suggestions, because hypnosis is not about being asleep. Self-hypnosis is not about being asleep. It's about proving to yourself that you're suggestible. Every suggestion you give the mind makes the next one easier. So I'm going to do this just one more time. I can give you a different suggestion. So I want you to all do this with Henny and Laura now. They're going to do it on their own without any prompting from me. So I want everyone to look up. Keep your eyeballs up, and on your own, I want you to breathe in and breathe out. And on the third exhalation, remember, you keep your eyeballs up, but you close your eyelids down. So do that right now. And then when your eyelids are closed down, you drop your chin, you drop your shoulders. You drop your chin, you feel yourself looking down, and now take those 10 steps down. Just feel and see and hear your feet taking every step, and tell yourself things like the sound of your own heartbeat is taking you deeper. The sound of your own breathing is taking you deeper. Everything is taking you deeper. And this time I want you to imagine that when you've got to the bottom step, you're going to give yourself a different suggestion. You're going to tell yourself that the small finger on your right hand is going to tingle and tremble and twitch and lift up. This time as if that finger is attached to a pulley. So I want you to imagine the small finger on your right hand is tingling and trembling and twitching. It's about to lift up all of its own accord, as if someone's got a piece of string tied around it, it's pulling it outwards. Rather than up, it's being pulled all the way out to the side. Your finger is twitching and trembling and lifting and moving all the way out to the side. When you feel that tingling, which is a very different feeling to simply lifting your finger up, you know it's working because it's a strange, involuntary movement. Your finger tingles, trembles, twitches, and lifts out. And sometimes it's really useful to give yourself a yes and no answer. So this can be your yes finger, and this can be your no finger. And if ever you have a question, should I take that job? Should I make that phone call? Should I invest in that product? You can say, lift this finger for yes and this for no. And you can ask your subconscious mind. So I want you, Henny, and you, Lauren, to ask yourself a question that you've been playing with in your mind. And remember, this is yes, this is no. You don't have to do anything. You simply say to your subconscious mind, I want you to take control. If the answer is yes, lift and move the finger on my right hand. If the answer is no, lift and move the finger on my left hand. Keep asking your subconscious mind to give you the answer, yes or no. And you'll notice that one finger again starts to tingle and tremble and twitch in a really involuntary way. Without any help from you, you will get your yes or no answer. Interesting. And now you can let your finger drop, and you can simply, slowly, calmly, easily take yourself back up those 10 steps. And when you're doing self-hypnosis, it's really nice to have the same steps, like wooden steps that go down to a beach, or beautiful carpeted steps that take you into a lovely room, or maybe polished steps or beautiful tiled stone steps that might be in a villa in Greece. I personally love the wooden steps going down to the sand, and you can use the steps in your own house. It really doesn't matter, but it's quite nice to have a set of steps that you really love. And if you're going down the sandy steps on the beach, then you just sit on the last step and start to give yourself suggestions. And then if you want to just relax, you can say, I can feel the waves at my feet, and I can hear the seagulls, and I can feel the sun. So when you're ready and you've come back up the steps, I'm just going to ask you, what was that like when your finger was tingling?
Very odd.
And you got a no answer, didn't you? And
yeah.
did that reassure you?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you, Henny?
Yeah, very strange. You know, I really felt that finger tingling.
Yeah. Sometimes we're so tormented by, I don't know what to do, yes or no, yes or no. And I often go to bed and say to my mind, give me the answer while I'm sleeping. But I do that a lot, yes and no. And you're not doing it yourself, because if it's yes or no, you just lift your finger. When it starts to tingle and tremble and do that, you know that it's an involuntary movement. What was it like when your arm was attached to the pulley and was going up?
Amazing, really amazing, because I really felt I couldn't have stopped it if I wanted to, I think was the feeling.
And for you?
My fingers felt like they were floating.
And were you giving yourself suggestions that excited you?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I think, very much so.
And now you're going to do that more.
Yeah.
And it's so easy on a train, when you're lying in bed at night, there's so many times you can do it in a waiting room. And nobody knows you're doing it. If you're sitting in a car or in the back of a car or on a bus or on a train, you can even do it if you're sitting in a bus stop. You can do it standing up. It's perfectly safe. But no one will know. And even when your finger's doing that, no one will know. And even if your hand does that, nobody will know. So start to practice self-hypnosis everywhere. And use it to just make your life better. Remember, your thoughts control your feelings control your actions, and your actions control events. When you take control of your thinking, it changes your life. And when you make your thoughts positive, it makes your life extraordinary. And self-hypnosis can help you have an extraordinary life, because it helps you to change your thinking. And when you're filling up your mind with positive thoughts, you really can't have your mind filled up with negative thoughts. Many years ago, I was going for an interview with a major women's magazine who were thinking about buying my products, my CDs. And so on the train there, I was hypnotizing myself, and I kept saying, this meeting's amazing. They love my products. They want my products. And then when I was waiting to go in the room, I was doing it again. And then I was singing a little song in my head, you can do it, you can do it. And it actually went really, really well. And that was a lot to do with the fact that I used hypnosis to keep me calm and focused. And if ever you watch Olympic athletes, you'll see they often look up and close their eyes, because they prep themselves just before they do a run or a jump or a hurdle. They see themselves doing it. It's a marvelous thing to do. Actors, before they go on stage, will often do the same thing, and singers and performers and public speakers. And it really helps. So thank you, Henny. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Check out my next video here.
Anyone notice that as that day comes around, they're sick? Because here's how the mind works. You say, oh my God, I volunteered to chair that meeting. I must have been out of my mind. I'd die if I've got to go on stage. I don't want to do that. And your brain's like, leave that with me. Now next Wednesday.